Ah, philodendron. The low-fuss, low-maintenance, beginner-friendly genus of houseplants that anyone can grow. Hands down the best genus in the aroid family. Not! Come on, sister, snap out of it! Why stand over your cocky little Philos when there's a whole f***ing world of beautiful Anthuriums out there? I mean, I made a whole video on how easy Anthurium care is, but everyone still thinks they're the devil in disguise. The problem is, people treat their Anthuriums like they're Philos, and when things go awry, they freak out and call it quits. Well, I've had enough of Anthuriums getting a bad rep. In fact, I'm here to start a revolution. Anthuriums are easier than philodendrons. Come at me, bro. Okay, now that I have your attention, I think it's time to highlight all of the reasons that make Anthuriums better in every way than Philos. So let's get right into it. Trends suck. I think the reason many people are intimidated by Anthuriums is because the trendiest ones on the market tend to have the worst reputations among growers. The trendiest Anthuriums tend to be species that are not as hardy as most Anthuriums. I'm talking Warwickwianum, Crystallinum, Dressleri, Splendidum, Papillolaminum, Regale, Veitchii, Luxurians. These are some of the cool kids you see on Instagram that everyone wants. Species are more likely to be finicky in household environments and slower growing, making their care not very rewarding. And if a queen Anthurium is your first attempt at Anthuriums and things don't go right, it's extremely discouraging to try again with another type. I can't tell you how many people I see on Facebook say, I got a Warwickwianum, guys, and it's my very first Anthurium, care tips, please. I'm trolling you, but I'm here to help you. So the first rule I can't stress enough is don't start with species, especially if your heart is set on those dark, velvety types. Start with hybrids. They're just as beautiful and twice as hardy. They got that hybrid vigor and won't disappoint. They're also much more affordable than pure species anyway, so much less anxiety-inducing if things go south. I also recommend not starting out with velvet-leafed varieties. Yes, I know they're very pretty and very popular, but velvet leaves overall are less tolerant of our drier household conditions. This is because they grow in the South American rainforests, where perpetual wetness increases the chances of fungal outbreaks and diseases. One of the functions of velvet leaves is to facilitate more efficient water shedding, and because they have evolved to thrive in the wettest and most humid places on Earth, we are demanding so much from them by only watering them once a week in 30 to 50% humidity and expecting them to flourish. It takes a little time and experience to understand how velvety Anthuriums react and grow in your home and on your care routine. But that doesn't mean all the pretty plants are off limits. In fact, some of the most beautiful and striking Anthuriums have thicker, waxy leaves that don't shed water as fast and can usually tolerate drier conditions. Some beginner species I highly recommend are Cupullospathum, Brownii, Vitarifolium, Superbum, and Radicans. Lighting. Philos and Anthuriums react differently to our dimly lit homes. Philos naturally climb and crawl and trail in order to find more light in their deeply shaded environments, which means they are going to stretch out their stem and have bigger gaps in between their leaves and nodes. Plants that grow like this are referred to as leggy, because they're essentially trying to run towards a brighter light source. Anyway, this leggy growth in low light makes the plant look unattractive and sometimes even a little sickly. Now Anthuriums, they relish in shade, honey. To compensate for the lack of light they're able to absorb, they will produce more chlorophyll, which darkens their leaves and allows them to grow more compact. Anthuriums size up essentially leaf by leaf, as opposed to stretching out their stem like a philo. They basically get sexier in lower light. Philos just get, well, leggier. growth rate. Whether it's an epiphytic climber or a terrestrial crawler, Philos grow way too fast, requiring more frequent repottings. Anthurium nodes are more compact and allow the leaves to size up one by one without trailing out of the pot in 6 months. This makes Anthurium growing much more manageable in the long term. My Philo collection has dwindled down because so many of them just grew too fast, and the constant repotting and propagating just didn't justify the joy I got out of them. My Anthuriums size up fast enough where it's fun and exciting, but they don't need to be staked on a moss pole that consistently needs to be sprayed and hydrated in order to activate the aerial roots on each node. Yes, some Anthuriums will climb or even trail, but it's a much more gradual process, allowing me to sit back and enjoy my collection without constant repotting. Pests and maintenance. Philodendrons are prone to spider mite outbreaks and other common plant-eating insects that hide under the leaves. It doesn't matter if it's a thin leaf, a thick leaf, all my Philos get mites. By comparison, I find my Anthurium leaves to be much more pest-resistant once they have finished hardening off. Pests tend to go for the new leaves coming in, so as long as I spray the emergent leaves with water as they expand, that usually washes off any pests I can't see that are chowing down and putting freckles on my plant leaves. Root health and shipping. Anthurium's thicker roots are overall hardier and more tolerant of shipping than the much thinner and fragile Philo roots, which can dry out and die much faster in the mail. I've dealt with many imports over the years. I've rarely had a Philo that didn't have root rot upon arrival. Meanwhile, I've rarely had an Anthurium that had root rot upon arrival. And finally, blooming and pollination. Philodendrons tend to only flower once they reach a very large size, and the pollination process is much trickier. Anthuriums can flower within 1 to 2 years of seed germination, and are fairly easy to pollinate and produce seeds. This is why you see so many hybrids flooding the market. It's such a fun thing to do with your collection, and that's why so many hobbyists are out here creating their own hybrids. You can learn more about Anthurium and philopollination in my other videos, which I'll link below. So there you have it. Let it be noted, I absolutely adore philodendrons. This is not a philo bashing video. Anyone that has seen my other videos knows I have plenty of Philos and I love them. But the narrative that Philos are so easy and Anthuriums are so fussy is just tired at this point. Philos are not all easy. Some of the most difficult plants in my collection are Philos. So hopefully this video gives you a boost in confidence to try Anthuriums if you were hesitant before. Because if you are comfortable growing Philos, or alocasias, or begonias, or even calatheas, you can without a doubt grow Anthuriums with great success. And this is the part where I say please interact with my video if you enjoyed it. It lets me know what videos you guys like to see from me. Comment your thoughts, let me know if you agree or disagree with me. Feel free to ask me questions, and like this video if you thought it was well done. Subscribe to this hot mess with all them plants, and I'll catch you guys later. This has been Jake, also known as Plant Gay for Life. Bye-bye.